Welcome to a Bestow TV production. If you enjoy our content, please click the subscribe button. To get notifications of new releases, ring that bell. Thank you, and away we go.
What are you gonna do to Barry Allen?
I'm gonna run all over him.
Bestow Productions presents Creative Continuity at New York Comic Con 2013. Get the latest news directly from artists, writers, and the occasional celebrity appearance. Tune in for Creative Continuity's coverage of NYCC. We bring the convention to you.
Are you gonna kill him?
If he pushes me that far, that's what will happen.
Are you gonna kill me?
If you don't end this interview, sign off.
This is Tommy Zimmer.
You had a great time, didn't you?
Not really. Mr. John Stanisci.
This is one of those careers it chooses you, you don't choose it. So I was a comic book fan as a kid. I loved comics, I loved art, and it was just what I wanted to do. And you know, when I was 19, I met Klaus Janson, and he became my mentor and my teacher, and I just worked real hard to get into the business, and here I am.
How'd Janson influence your art style?
Well, he more than influenced it. I mean, he was my teacher. I mean, I really learned everything from him, and he's probably influenced me in ways I don't even realize most of the time when I work.
How'd it feel to be working under one of the guys from The Dark Knight Returns?
Well, when I met Klaus, he just finished Dark Knight Returns, so that's like, you know, dating myself a bit, but it was really like one of those moments like, wow, this is the guy who just did Dark Knight. It was pretty exciting.
How'd you try to start to get yourself out there beyond just that mentorship you formed?
Well, at that time, Marvel was, I had people at Marvel that I knew, so I would go up to the office all the time, and I would constantly show work, and I was really just a real big pain in the butt and quite a nuisance. And I think they just gave me work so I would go away. You know, it was like, all right, just get out of here. Don't come back for a few weeks. Just go work on this. I think that's how I got work.
So you annoyed your way into the
I annoyed my way. I've done that with everything in life, really. I annoy my way into situations.
So is that how the partnership with Klaus began? You annoyed him?
I know. Well, no, we became fast friends, and we're still good friends to this day. So, although I'm sure I do annoy him.
What was your first Marvel work?
I knew a guy who was an assistant editor at Marvel, and I was a young guy, and I wanted to break in. And he said, "Here's a 8-page Hawkeye story that we, you know, why don't you draw some pages?" So I drew the entire 8 pages, and I brought it up to Marvel, first day ever at Marvel, and they loved the job, and I said, well, why don't you buy it? And they said, well, we already paid Don Heck to do this about 6 months ago. At that moment, Fabian Nicieza walked by. He wrote the story, and he says, hey, that looks like the 8-page story I wrote that you never printed. So they never got Don Heck to draw it. They looked stupid, so they said, well, they just bought it from me that day. So I literally walked in off the street, sold my first job. I was 21 years old, and people were like, who is this guy? He walked in off the street. So that was my first job, and then from there people started offering me some work, and penciling and inking, and the inking really took over for the majority of my career to this point.
What sort of stuff did you begin? Was it Marvel that continued that relationship?
Yeah, I worked at Marvel for a long time, and then I would bounce back and forth to DC, and then I ended up being at DC a lot over the years, and I have a lot of very good relationships there. So,
did you prefer working for DC? I mean, you have that relationship, you said, but
I like to work here. I like to work. I always liked the Marvel characters when I was a kid, but again, I have such strong relationships with people at DC. There's people at DC I know 20 years. I love working with them, and I mean, there's some great editors that I still work for, like Mike Moritz is a good friend of mine. Mike Seglain was my editor at DC for many years before he left. We worked together a lot, so I really enjoyed those relationships.
What sort of books did you begin working at DC on?
Well, back in the day, I did Catwoman for a long time. That was my regular book with Jim Ballant. That was a lot of fun.
Well, your most recent work, some of your most recent work has been the Batman Beyond series.
Yeah, yes.
That you did with Adam and Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
What was it? Has it been difficult switching styles sometimes as an inker?
No.
To accent
no, that was, you know, in my inking career, I think I had success with it because I was adaptable. And I really believe very strongly that the inker, any inker, should know as much about drawing as the penciler does. And when you have a knowledge of drawing that way, you can really adapt your style. You can be very adaptable. But actually, it was funny because the whole Batman Beyond thing was a total accident. I wasn't even supposed to do that job. I was working for Mike Seglain, and he had a whole other project for me. It was going to be a very exciting, big project, and then it didn't happen at the last minute. And he said, well, I got this Batman thing. I didn't even know it was Batman Beyond. He said, you want to do it? I said, yeah, it's 6 issues. It's fun. And then it turned into this, really, people seemed to really like the book, and it did very well, and we're very happy with it.
Well, one of the things was, the way you accented Ryan's pencils and really the way you made them blow up on the page.
Oh, thank you. Ryan's a very, very talented artist, nice guy. And when I saw, when I took the job, I didn't even know his work, really. I didn't know who I was even working with. I just took the job. But when I saw the pencils, I said, wow, this guy's really good. And, I really wanted to do justice to what he was laying out on the page, and because I thought he did a great job.
So how is it, how did you transition? Most inkers, I look at some inkers' work, and I see them do their pencils. And really, some of it's as good, if not even better, than some of the pencilers themselves doing it.
Well, after Batman Beyond, I felt like that, it was a pretty successful book, and I really was at a crossroads in my career and my life, and I thought, this is a kind of business where I don't want to say people stereotype you, but they stereotype you. It's like you're an inker. That's what you do. And I was saying, I want a pencil. I love telling stories. It's what I really feel I was supposed to do. And, it was really hard to overcome that. So I said, I think I need to stop inking, and I need to go disappear for a while so people can maybe forget about me for a little while and then come back later with my penciling portfolio. And so I went away for a while, and that's why you haven't seen my name out in anything for a long time. But this year now, the penciling has really taken off, and I'm penciling for DC and for IDW right now. I really believe inking too. There was a generation of inkers that really were great artists.
Oh yeah.
And today it seems like that's not really called upon by inkers. And I feel like that's it's a tragedy. It's artwork, and we're all artists, and we just want to explore our talent to the fullest degree.
And what DC work are you doing?
Well, I just did a thing from Mike Martz in the summer. We did a Batman Incorporated special.
Oh, yeah,
I penciled and inked that. We each got to do our own characters, and everybody really gave 100% on that because it was the send-off of Batman Incorporated. So we really wanted to do a good job.
Was that? Did you feel honored just being on that book? Being in that.
Well, again, it's one of those things. I didn't know who the guys like Dan was writing on and Ethan Van Sciver, and I went, oh my God, I really got to do a good job now. I didn't know who was going to be around me, and I saw some of the artwork. I said, this is great. Yeah. So yeah, we really all wanted to give it a good send off. It's the end for now, I guess, for Batman Incorporated. So we all were like, hey, let's just do a good one here. But right now, I just did an issue of Judge Dredd that I penciled and inked for IDW, and now I'm doing 2 issues of X-Files for them. So I'm very excited about that. I'm a huge fan of X-Files. And and you can follow my artwork at stockyboy.deviantart.com. Stockyboy.deviantart.com is my DeviantArt site. You can see all my work there and keep track of me.
Okay, so that's stockyboy.deviantart.com. Check him out there. Check him out at IDW. And
Billy West in person, ladies and germs. The one and only Billy West. This is Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
Mr. West, how do you prepare for a role?
I gargle with razor blades, and I drink Jack Daniels, and I scream into my pillow, and then I go to work. No, my voice used to feel like that from screaming and yelling all the time. And preparing is just like just being prepared for anything. I'm a carpenter, they say today you're going to build a set of stairs. Bring the right tools, and you're going to do a sidewalk today. Bring cement, make sure you got all you need. It's the same thing with, bringing whatever skills that would be best for a certain role or a character.
Does your approach ever change to the different characters that you played?
Yeah, you can't be just this witty little bag of voices, It's like Mel Blanc, for example. he could do all these great characters, but he was a hell of an actor. He could act his ass off.
All right, I appreciate it, Mr. West. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This is Tommy Zimmer and Billy West in New York, 2013.
Now go home.
But with image technology, we actually capture the autograph as it's being signed, and we can actually burn it onto a flash drive and email you a video on your phone or through your email.
So if you brought an
Magic.
autograph my hand,
Yeah?
I could, you know.
You
have
could
a
cut off
memory.
your arm and resell it because you have proof.
That makes sense, but why would I want to cut off my arm?
Well, you'd give your right arm for $1 million, wouldn't you?
Not really. Van Gogh only gave his ear to his cousin because you know they had a hearing difficulties.
So today, how much is that ear worth?
Probably a lot of money.
My point exactly. We're going to cut off his arm in a few minutes, and we're going to prove that that arm's worth more money autographed by Billy West once cut off than it'll ever be worth by Van Gogh.
I think not.
He thinks not. So, are you an expert that's been on Antiques Roadshow for 13 seasons?
No, but you are.
I know, I'm telling you, that's going to be priceless.
Watch Creative Continuity, COD Tunes, Con Rewind, Mr. Lobo Does, and more on this channel.
Creative Continuity. We bring the convention to you.